What's going on, guys? It is the Coaster Battleman here, bringing you an awesome coaster countdown. I already did this type of video of the top 5 Giga Coasters, but my opinion has kind of changed looking at the POVs of these rides, and from my experience on a few of these Giga Coasters, or one of them, but I've ridden one of the 5 Giga Coasters, which is nice. I got to ride the original Giga Coaster, Millennium Force, but these are the 5 best Giga Coasters in my opinion. Number 5 is Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland. This is basically kind of the Giga Coaster that not too many people talk about. It's not the best ride out there. It's a good ride, and it has some solid airtime moments, but overall the ride is just a little short or in duration. I wish it was a bit longer. But it's still an amazing Giga Coaster, and overall, it's better than most coasters out there. I think Leviathan's a very good ride, but compared to all the other Giga Coasters, it's not as good. But this is a great ride, don't get me wrong. Number 4 is Intimidator 305. Now, you may be surprised that this coaster is so low on this list. It's because the layout is super good, but overall, the ride is just a little short for a Giga Coaster, but I really love the very fast cable lift hill. You're just up to the top of the lift hill in just like 15 seconds. The drop is very intense. You gray out on that first overbank turn. There's several intense bank turns throughout the ride. A few weak airtime moments. Overall, Intimidator 305 is a very good Giga Coaster. It just needs a bit more airtime and maybe a bit of a longer ride. Number 3 is Steel Dragon 2000. Now, this is kind of an underrated roller coaster in my opinion. No one really talks about Steel Dragon 2000 in being one of the best Giga Coasters out there. Some people consider it the worst or the second worst. But Steel Dragon 2000 is the second oldest Giga Coaster out there, behind Millennium Force. But this coaster has a very solid drop, a very good floater airtime moment at the beginning of the ride. There's a giant enormous spaghetti bowl type section. The spaghetti bowl type section is not found on too many roller coasters out there, especially when you compare the Giga Coasters. The Giga Coasters are more spread out, but this spaghetti bowl section is a pretty cool section through the ride, and then from the mid-course brake run of this ride to the end of the ride, it's just ejector airtime moments all over the place, and you go through some tunnels. And this coaster got B&M trains a few years ago, which means it's running very good. So overall, Steel Dragon 2000 is an underrated ride, great airtime. It's a very good Giga Coaster, and it's a super long ride. Number 2 is Millennium Force at Cedar Point. Now, everyone may be surprised about this, but Millennium Force hasn't been getting enough credit for being a great Giga Coaster. Like, no one really talks about Millennium Force anymore, as much as probably Fury 325 or Intimidator 305. These newer Giga Coasters are just taking away the spirit of Millennium Force. More people are just talking about Fury and Intimidator. Those are like the 2 Giga Coasters that everyone talks about, but Millennium Force, just so good of a ride. The layout may not be my favorite Giga Coaster layout, but this coaster has 3 amazing airtime moments. The overbank turns are amazing. The first overbank turn you actually gray out on, or at least I did. And overall, the overbank turns were fun. The airtime was outstanding and very strong, even though there were only 3 moments. But I'm a huge fan of Millennium Force, and definitely the second best Giga Coaster. But there's only one Giga Coaster that's better, and that's the newest one, Fury 325. Fury 325 is an amazing ride. It's one of the best coasters out there. Definitely best in the United States, in my opinion. But I'm not fully sure if it's best in the world, but this coaster's definitely top 10 in the world. Most of these Giga Coasters are like top 30, and all the Giga Coasters are in the top 30 in the world, in my opinion, but Fury 325 It's so ginormous, super long. You dive under a bridge. You got 95 miles per hour. There's some great airtime moments. Just everything about Fury 325 is amazing. Kind of like Millennium Force. It just has that solid ride path, and overall, it's one of the most loved coasters these days. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.